I think that Cherry make the best value keyboards because you're getting the gold standard switch that all of the big gaming companies put in their flagship offers, but you're getting it at a much more sensible price. If you're an office user and you don't need to type or game in the dark, you don't need something with RGB lights that fits in with your streaming setup, then I think just go with this. It looks to business and it's definitely for those of you that care about substance first and foremost. Now, this isn't the best keyboard for the do-it-yourself mechanical keyboard enthusiast. The keys aren't hot swappable, for example. This is a board for the home office, for someone who wants a plug-in-and-go solution to give them the best typing experience that you can currently buy. This is the Cherry KC200 MX, and it's got the new red MX2A switches. You can buy it in this color and you can buy it in white as well. And you can buy it with these switches, these are the red switches, or you can buy it with brown switches. And they're the only two in this brand new generation of Cherry switches. In my first thoughts review, I remarked that I felt that the deck of the keyboard was a little bit too high, and I thought I might need something to elevate my wrists. Now, I haven't actually found that a massive problem, but as I'm spending more and more time here at this desk, I thought I'd try and protect myself from future issues and grab one of these, which is also from Cherry. Gives you little instructions on how to position it at just the right height. That certainly is helping immediately, and I don't feel the need to adjust the height, but it's nice to know that you can do that. This isn't a sponsored video. I've bought all of my Cherry gear that I'm showing you today from Amazon. This keyboard, the previous MX 3.0 board, which again, I've really enjoyed using this for a long time, and this, the little wireless mouse, which comes and goes to school with me in my bag. And of course, this new wrist rest. There is an Amazon link though to the Cherry store in the description, which is an affiliate link, meaning that I receive a small commission if you buy anything through it. It's a good place though to check out the latest prices in your region, and there's no extra cost to you. So thank you so much for supporting the channel. Cherry keyboards and mouses, they're for those of you that have wondered if there's something better than that laptop keyboard that you've always used, or if that ancient Dell keyboard that you've reused from the computer, which was obsolete a decade ago, if that's worth upgrading from. And if you're someone for whom anything that's above £100 is simply too much to spend on something which is purely functional like a keyboard, then these are for you. And that's what I like about Cherry. You get the switches from the most expensive premium keyboards, and they're in these quality products, but their prices aren't crazy. Cherry are a German-based company, and so they really pride themselves on rigorous testing. And they're known as a leader in gaming and office products. Their mechanical switches are considered the industry best. So let's have a little type and listen to that obligatory key sound. So it's really nice. I do wonder if reds were actually the right choice for me. I'm not quite an expert typist. I do prefer that lower activation force, and I don't really miss the tactile bump, which I thought I might. I'm thinking of getting the new brown just to try it and make that comparison. And what do you think? Let me know in the comments if you'd really like to see that video. This is my old brown. So this is the previous generation of Cherry keyboards, and you can hear a much more pronounced kind of clatter as you work the keys. So the brown is really good. I really enjoyed having that keyboard on this desk. However, I did find that for long periods of use, I did get sort of tired fingers from working with a higher activation force. So think about the type of typist that you are. These are all about function. There's an analog digital feel here. This is about accurate and light typing with the satisfying clunk when you smash that enter key. It's also a full-size keyboard, as you can see, with the number pad. These are called 10-key keyboards. That means essentially they've got these extra 10 keys at the side here. And that's a no-brainer for a desktop PC for me. But Cherry do have lots of different options in their store, and you'll find the link to that in the description. The three main sizes that you'll see are this. This is called 100% often, or 10 key. When you miss out the number pad like this, it's called a TKL, a 10 keyless, or a little less of that, sort of squeezes the arrows in around here, like this keyboard from Keychron, and this is a sort of 75% keyboard here. If you miss off all of the function row again, then you call that a 60%. And you can even find some keyboards that don't even have numbers at all, and these are like 40%. Or the real show-off pro typists that don't even bother with the backspace. So there are lots of options. Some are more practical than others. So for me, stick with this full size unless you need portability. The one thing to note before you go shopping for your Cherry keyboard is that not all of the Cherry keyboards are mechanical, so be aware which you're buying. But all of the Cherry stuff is really high quality. I've compared this keyboard with some of the cheaper options, and I've got a full video comparing those. The Keychron, for example, is very very good, and it is a little bit less expensive. And then there's the stuff that's imported by Mamba Snake, which I can never get out in one go. But honestly, it doesn't quite match the quality feel of this Cherry board. But it's fine though, and if you wanted just to give it a go for 30 to 50 quid, then it's better than a membrane keyboard. This is the Habit, for example, which still has a really nice, satisfying key press. I think this one's red keys as well. But most of that level of keyboard are sort of cheaper imitation of Cherries, although there are some really high quality ones which are really doing some kind of bespoke and kind of esoteric switch types. Mechanical keyboards are generally larger and heavier, so if you do want something super slim and portable, you should probably look to one of their scissor switch style. And this one isn't wireless and it doesn't have Bluetooth, for instance. A lot of the keyboards, they come with 3 different Bluetooth settings, so you can easily switch between 3 different devices. It doesn't have a backlight. And some of that you'll find even in the really cheap keyboards from Mamba Snake. But ask yourself if you need that. Cherry do have options with that as well, but for a keyboard like this, it's going to sit on my desk. I don't need that at all. For something on my desk, I'd rather have those Cherry switches which are in really big brand keyboards. The biggest example of that is Logitech. Now the thing is, your keyboard and your mouse, they are the parts of your computer that you actually touch and interact with. It's not the place to save the money. And for me, this is well worth the investment. It's really improved my experience with my computer here. And the nice thing is that there's a lot of choice in Cherry Switch. They come in all sorts of different keyboard decks, so you'll be sure to find there's something that suits you. You can even get, this is the little Cherry experience box that can let you try out all the different switch types. For example, the 3 main are your red, which is linear with a low activation force, your blue, which is a higher activation force and has that click, and then the brown, which is quiet, reasonably high activation force, but also this kind of little tactile bump. So the force actually changes sort of halfway down. You can really feel when you've activated it rather than just lightly pressed it. For me, silent red is the sweet spot. And they've got so many different options. This heavy one, couldn't do that. I do have a quick video where I run through that experience board to show you all the different switch types. But beware, because it can become something of an expensive obsession. Not hobby, obsession. And you can go ahead and check out this video here where I compare a bunch of keyboards from cheap through to expensive. But long story short, this keyboard is the best value you can get right now. Buy red switches if you're a beginner or a casual user, and buy brown if you're an expert and you type for hours on end.